As you explore the settings and functions available on your digital camera, you might be surprised at the seemingly endless numbers of options that you have available. With most of the newer digital cameras, the photographer seems to be working with a system that appears to be closer to a computer with a lens attached to it than to that of the older traditional type of camera. As you become more familiar with your camera as well as the menu settings, you'll find that there are basic settings that you will need to review and set before each shoot. Many of the extra features will most likely only be used occasionally. And for those selections, it will always be an advantage to have your camera manual with you in order to help you understand how these settings will affect your photography. Eventually, as you work your way through the many menu pages of options available on your camera, you'll also gain a good understanding of the benefits of each of the options and functions. Most cameras offer the convenience of program photography. The program mode allows for point and shoot photography without the worry of exposure control. Under normal photographic conditions, the program mode of exposure gives quite adequate results. The letter P indicates the program mode on the command dial. The program mode selects the shutter and aperture combinations in order to get a correct exposure. Depending on the advanced features that your particular camera might have, it might have the ability to select different aperture and shutter combinations in the program mode. Regardless of your choices in changing the program, shutter, and aperture combinations, the end exposure is usually chosen by the camera. Shutter priority allows you to select the shutter speed. The camera will automatically choose the corresponding aperture in order to give you the correct exposure. Aperture priority will allow you to select the aperture size. The camera will automatically choose a corresponding shutter speed in order to give you the correct exposure. Now, regardless of which of these semi-automatic functions you end up choosing, and many cameras offer you both of those choices, the only choice that you're given is the selection of the shutter speed in regards to shutter priority mode, or the aperture in regards to aperture priority mode. Once you have chosen that one function, the camera automatically sets the other one in order to achieve a correct exposure for the subject. Depending on the make or model of your camera, you may or may not have manual exposure control. The manual setting allows you to select the shutter and the aperture for exposure control to suit the situation. When you're using manual exposure controls, no automatic functions are accessible to you. You have to make all of the decisions necessary in order to create your image. You must decide on both the shutter speed and an f-stop or aperture selection.